Hello, everyone. Really good to be here and join you live for the kind of first introductory Learn English Live session with me, Anpu, all the way from London. I just wanted to create this series. We're all in quarantine, and I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everyone's safe. So the first thing I want to start off with, these are unprecedented times, and hope you guys are keeping well. And this is the thing; it's affecting the entire planet, it being a pandemic. So I wanted to start off by introducing who I am. For those of my followers, thank you for subscribing and supporting me in London. And I started this live series, Learn English Live, to kind of help you out during quarantine. And this is a fantastic time to improve your skills in English. So today's live stream is all going to be about how to kind of start to think about learning English. Now, a lot of you have messaged me being like, you feel lost and you don't know where to begin. And we've got the English language, but we've also got the accent as well. And there's lots of different kind of things to think about, and the journey can be quite difficult. So I wanted to be there for you guys and help you with that journey. And today I'm gonna share some 3 top tips with you to kind of start you off on that journey. Now, obviously, everybody's somewhere along the journey. Some of you might be advanced learners, some of you might be beginners, but I hope this series will help you no matter where you are along that journey, and I hope you kind of are able to pick out a new top tip from this and find it useful. So I'm actually planning to do a live stream next week as well, and I've got a few kind of ideas for live streams as we go along. So I'd love to kind of hear your thoughts in the comments below regarding any ideas that you have for video topics. So I'm going to cover new British slang, going to cover new vocabulary, going to cover kind of differences between the US and UK pronunciation. I'm going to cover a little bit of British history, but yeah, literally anything that I can help you with, please message me below. So I'm going to start reading the live chat now, because before I share these top 3 tips for starting off your English journey, learning English journey, I just wanted to welcome everybody, say hello to those of you who have joined. So thank you, Varun, for joining. And Hussein asks, why is English hard? That's a great question, and we can get into that. Gucci Louise, hi, thank you for joining. Nishi, hi, thank you for joining. Ire, hi, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Korg Explorer. Shamzira asks, hi, is it easier to get a job in London for Indians? Good question. I hope we can unpack all of this. And yeah, even though I want to share these top 3 tips with you today in this live stream, it's also going to be a Q&A where we can get into these discussions and talk about this. Payal Adwani, hi there, thank you for joining. Ire asks a fantastic question. Why do you write your name as An with a P, Anbu, instead of a B spelling? Yeah, we can definitely get into that. Rabaya, thank you for your question. Kaushik, where are you staying, Anbu? I'm staying in London, and I'm blessed to be in my family home at the moment with my parents. Nitish, hi, Anbu from Malaysia. Wow, thank you for joining. Right, okay, so those are some fantastic questions that have already been asked, but I wanted to start off with my number 1 tip for you, and that's to listen. To listen. And there's lots of different resources you can take to listen and improve your English language skills. So I've written a few kind of websites and a few ideas down on my piece of paper in front of me. Now, the first one is LBC. LBC is a radio station, and it's called Leading Britain's Conversation. So LBC stands for Leading Britain's Conversation. And I actually really enjoy listening to LBC in the background when I'm working, or maybe even when you're cooking, or when you're running errands. Running errands means when you're doing tasks for your day. And it's a great way to listen to the English language and British speakers, because the presenter is very well spoken, and I often admire the presenters on LBC, and I guess various other radio stations as well, because they are so eloquent. They're very they don't speak too quickly, and you will find yourself kind of understanding them. With faster native speakers, it is quite difficult to understand them, but I find radio presenters are much easier to understand. Let me know in the comment section below, like if you do actually agree with that, whether radio station presenters are easier to understand. So LBC often every 15 minutes they kind of have a different caller, and so you can call in and you can actually listen to other native speakers talk with the radio presenter, and often they share ideas, they kind of share concerns, they talk about a particular topic, whether it's politics, government, the environment. There's so many different topics which are spoken about, and so this is a great way to be exposed to different accents in the UK, because every caller sounds different, and I often kind of sit there admiring, like, oh yeah, that guy sounds different, that person says that word differently, and you can actually start to listen and improve your skills there. So linking on to listening, there are other platforms which you can kind of train to listen. For example, watching the news. So BBC News is a great one. And yeah, it really depends on what accent you want to learn, right? So obviously my channel is dedicated mainly towards the British accent. Now, obviously British accent is a very wide term, more specifically the received pronunciation. And within the kind of listening top tip for you today, is also to watch British TV shows. Now, obviously that advice has been given before, but I wanted to go further and discuss how that can actually help you with your vocabulary and your English journey. So there are different British TV shows dedicated for different topics. For example, The Apprentice is a fantastic show which I love watching, with Sir Alan Sugar. Let me know if you've watched The Apprentice. And The Apprentice is great for business and for business vocabulary, and to see how people interact in a business setting. Blue Planet, the famous kind of documentary about the environment, that's British produced, and that's great for science and geography. And then you've got like other kind of shows. I've written Chewing Gum down. I don't know if you guys have heard of Chewing Gum, but this is great for kind of London slang, and kind of topics about kind of in social settings and relationships. And so every show can aid one aspect of your English learning journey. So that is my top tip for you today, is to kind of listen and use these various resources. So kind of LBC, BBC News, and kind of various various British shows. Right, let's get to the comment section. I hope that first tip was useful. Let's get to the comment section and let's answer a few of these questions. So, okay, I love Ire's question. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And Ire asks, why do you spell your name as A-N-P-U, not A-N-B-U? Okay, I've actually made a video about this on my channel, and I often struggle to answer this question because it is deep embedded within linguistics, actually. So the short answer is there's a sound in Tamil. So Tamil is my mother tongue, and there's a sound in Tamil which is in between a P sound and a B sound. And so the pronunciation of my name in my mother tongue is Anpu. Anpu. It's not Anbu and it's not Anpu. It's Anpu. But I do add kind of like an anglicized accent to my name. So when speaking English, I do prefer to be called Anpu. Anpu. So kind of accentuating that B sound. And I've noticed British, kind of like English speakers, can't actually pronounce that P-B sound that's present in Tamil. So, and also my parents spelt it as with a P. And I know a lot of Indian Tamil spell it with a B, but at the end of the day, I'm proud of where I come from, and I'm proud of my heritage and my identity, and a name often portrays that. And my parents spelt it in a particular way for and lots of reasons which I don't want to bore you with. You can watch that video. It's on my channel. It's called How to Pronounce My Long Sri Lankan Name. I produced it like 3 years ago. You can take a look at that. I actually explain it in more detail there. But yeah, that's the kind of like short answer there. It's to kind of respect my heritage and my background and my identity, but at the same time, it's that kind of difficulty with that PB sound there. Let's answer a few of these exciting questions, actually. Okay. So Skill F asks, how do actors learn so many accents quickly? That's a very good question. I think with Hollywood, anyway, there's a very large budget, so I think they definitely must have a team behind them. They must have a professional helping them every day. And the other key thing is about actors as well, is that they actually get into their role every day, every single minute of the day. So I've heard that when you're acting and when you're acting a particular character, you don't just get into that zone of that character on shooting days. You're actually playing that character in your day-to-day when you're not on set. And that's incredible because you're physically changing who you are in your day-to-day to kind of really fit this character mold. I find that inspiring and fascinating, actually, how like the amount of work that goes into acting. So to answer the question about how do actors learn so many accents quickly, they're doing it every day. It's not just on set, and it's not just a few minutes every day. They're practicing every day. And the same thing goes for fitness. How do actors kind of how do actors get such a great body? It's because they've got a professional helping them, and they're doing it every day, right? They're working towards that goal every day. Furthermore, I think what else do actors do? They really analyze the voice of that character. So, for example, I was watching this documentary about how they filmed Planet of the Apes, and one of the actors who was playing one of the apes actually sat there analyzing the movements of chimpanzees and various apes, and kind of really kind of paying attention to how their legs move, and how their arms move, and how their eyes move, and really kind of paying attention to those micro details. I think the same thing can be applied to accents. So you can pay attention to those micro details in how someone pronounces something. So that's why my first tip was about listening, because you can identify, right, okay, that word sounds different to how my friends pronounce it, or that presenter sounds different to that other presenter. Like, what are the differences here? And kind of really being within that zone is kind of what helps actors along their journey. Oh, well, Ire says that his name was also Anpu, so that's great. I love. It's very rare in like London to come across people with my name. For 20 years of my life, I'd never come across anyone with my name. And then one of our family friends, there was a newborn baby, and they called him Anpu, and I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I've heard it's quite a common name in Tamil Nadu, actually, in India, which is quite cool. Right, let's read a few more of these questions. Can I watch English dubbed cartoons? Will it improve my English skills? Interesting. English dubbed, I guess that question all depends on the quality of the dubbing. Now, I personally haven't actually watched any dubbed cartoons, but I think they are, if they're done by a respectable TV network, I think that it should be a great way to learn, for sure. Yeah. Okay, let's read a few more of these questions. Okay, so Gucci Louis asks how to say the word British and February correctly. Correctly, it's hard to pronounce when R comes everywhere. Yeah, it's true. Even I'm like, Okay. So British. So you can practice that. British. And then the next word, which you're asking about, is the second month of the year. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Just say that out loud. How would you normally say that? The second month of the year, the one after January. physically say it out loud. Kind of hear yourself say it. Okay, I pronounce this one as February. February. It's never February. The R after the B isn't really heavily pronounced here. It's February. Now, to really make this pronunciation easier for you, just get rid of that R completely. February. 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 Yeah, no, I've always grown up to pronounce it February, and a lot of my friends pronounce it February. February. Rohit. Okay, let's read your comment. I know basic English without knowing any grammar rules. I never spoke with anyone in my 21 years. Wow. Now for my further studies, I have to speak. But when I speak with someone, I don't pronounce words correctly. Right, okay. Yeah, that's it. Wow. In that situation, I think my advice to you would be, it's never too late. It's never too late. And it's great that, after 21 years, you would like to improve your kind of accent and vocabulary, and you're embarking on that journey. So I wish you the best of luck. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people in the same boat as Rohit here, where you guys feel like you've got the basic knowledge and basic grammar rules, but it's kind of like as soon as you transfer that to day-to-day English practice, you guys struggle, and I want to help you with that. I think so. I'm putting together a plan. I've actually got a pen and paper in front of me. I'm actually putting together a plan for further live streams. I'm going to be doing a bunch of live streams. I'm going to be doing one on Monday and throughout the week and during the quarantine period. So I'm actually making a list of kind of topic ideas. And I think Rohit's raised a really important point there. And I think day-to-day conversation is something that we can practice together in these live streams. Varen asks, I don't know nothing is a double negative sentence, which means I know something. I don't know nothing. Yeah, but in English movies, they say I don't know nothing, which means I don't know anything. How do you deal with this? Yeah. Okay. So when you've got double negatives, it's actually really confusing, because it's like, what do you actually mean here? And the way to deal with that is, I think, is twofold. The first way is to let me have a think about this one. Double negatives. It's in their tone, I think. So you can always figure out what they mean with their tone. So if they say I don't know nothing, but if they're like sighing about it, then clearly they mean they don't know anything about a particular topic. But then if they kind of mean that they mean everything, it often comes across in the tone. Needed to sneeze there. Ooh, excuse me. And then with the second topic, the second tip would be points of clarification. I think there's no harm in asking for clarification. If you're confused about what someone means, maybe in an email or in face to face, like 2 meters apart now, then I think asking for a point of clarification is absolutely fine. I think it's absolutely fine. Let's read a few more of these questions then. So I do want to get into the second and third tip for improving your journey to learning the English language and kind of beginning that. Let's read a few of these questions. There's loads coming in. I just need to take a minute to read this. It's really exciting. Thank you for sending your comments and questions across. It really means a lot. It really does. Manish says, dude, you are so perfect at different accents. Thank you. It really means a lot. I do want to make some more fun accent videos on my channel. Let's read through those comments. Is Welsh and that's a really interesting question. So Prajwell, sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly there. Is Welsh and London accent similar? It really isn't. No, I wouldn't say it is. I speak with a kind of London accent, multicultural London English mixed in with received pronunciation. But the Welsh, I'm not even going to try it. I'm not even going to try demonstrating it, because but the one thing I would say is that the tone kind of goes up and down. There's lots of intonations within the Welsh accent. I'm going to try and attempt one city name in the Welsh accent if I can. Don't destroy me in the comment section below. But like I went to Abergavenny as on a trip, and it's a beautiful town in Wales. And I remember like the bus drivers sounded like they were in sing song. It's like the accent is very different. It's like Abergavenny, Abergavenny. So in London we would say Abergavenny, Abergavenny, but then in Welsh accent it was Abergavenny, Abergavenny, and it's like up and down. So no, I wouldn't say that the accent is similar. Payal asks, who's your favorite author? Ooh, okay. Who is my favorite author? This is a difficult question because I'm going to let you into a secret. I don't read that much. I really don't. And I love reading kind of academic journals and non-fiction texts. But in terms of fiction texts, I don't read that much. So in terms of actually naming my favorite author, that's a difficult question. But I hope in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, I'll be able to kind of, I'll be exposed to more books and I can actually answer that question. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't be able to answer that question. Okay. Rubaiyat asks, what does it mean to manipulate someone? Ooh, okay, so manipulation. So the word manipulate means to kind of deceive someone into doing something. So to manipulate someone is to kind of go against their will and make them end up doing something which they don't want to do. So if I manipulated someone to kind of, I don't know, what would I manipulate someone to do? It's definitely a bad character trait to manipulate someone. It's better to be honest with someone and kindly request them to do something rather than manipulate them, tell them lies, and kind of, yeah, if someone's manipulating, that's definitely not a good character trait to have. So, you know, I could manipulate someone into kind of buying something for me because, and that's really deceptive. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Skill says you should make some accent analysis videos of actors playing different characters like Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah, that's a fantastic point. Thank you for suggesting that. I will definitely include that in one of my live streams or in one of like the videos that I produce. So kind of actors and analysis of their accents. Yeah, for sure. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, and we can kind of follow along and we can kind of break that down. Nishi asks, could you do a series pronounced with Anpu where you actually give or narrate a full sentence and we repeat after you? Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. So I'm actually going to include your name. Thank you for your suggestion and pronounce with Anpu. I like that. I even like the hashtag. I really love that. Pronounce with Anpu. And if that's what you guys need, if that's what you guys feel you need, kind of like someone just to really break down a sentence for you and you guys just repeat, I say it, you repeat. I think that's a really great way to, yeah, great way to learn. So thank you for your suggestion there. Rohin asks, can you give Cockney a go? Oh my god. I don't think I can. I really don't think, I really can't. I mean, okay, fine, I'll give it a go, but Cockney, dog and bone, like, what you looking at on the dog? Call me on the dog and bone. You're gonna call me on the dog and bone. What you looking at? I don't even know if that's accurate. If you're Cockney or if you know anything about Cockney, let me know if that was awful. But yeah, dog. I know there's Cockney rhyming slang, which is why I said dog and bone, which stands for. Does anyone come and let me know in the comments below? What does dog and bone stand for? Gucci asks, can you feature one of your friends and do a conversation? Yeah. The problem is, obviously everyone's in lockdown at the moment, so I would love to invite a friend, but maybe we could do something via Skype. Conversation with one of my friends, yeah. Yeah, Rohan, fantastic. It stands for phone. Dog and bone stands for phone. Right, time to get on to my second top tip for today, which links into the introduction and beginning on your English learning journey. So a great way to start. So the first key tip was listening. So LBC, BBC News, British shows. Second tip I've got down here is British slang. This just really helps you sound like a local, and yeah, it just kind of helps you fit in. It kind of it gives you that kind of quirk to your language skills, and it helps you sound more natural. It kind of gives off the impression that you've been living in Britain for a long time, and yeah, it's just like it's just a nice way to kind of show off your advanced English skills. So slang, I would never use in a formal setting. It's definitely an informal thing, but I would say, yeah, there's lots of like resources online to kind of help you learn English slang. So I've actually got a couple of videos about British slang and London slang, and you can go check that out. There's also other YouTubers kind of explaining British slang. So kind of one example from the top of my head would be if the shopkeeper asks for payment and you've got £10 in your pocket, you wouldn't say £10. British slang would be 10 quid. Oh, it's 10 quid. Just like how in America, American slang would be $10. In Britain, we say 10 quid, right? So it's these little kind of words that can help spice up your language instantly, really, like just memorizing a few pieces of British slang and using it correctly in your sentence. Yeah, just kind of helps spice it up. Shall I move on to my third tip, or shall I answer a few more questions? Kalyan Sundar says, "Can you speak in Chennai Tamil, bro?" Okay, I can give it a go. So, okay, I feel like I don't want to like alienate my non-Tamil audience right now, but I guess it's exciting for you guys to hear how my mother tongue sounds. So I'm actually really excited. I love your question. Okay. Okay, let me start. Let me start speaking in Chennai Tamil. Okay, you can tell me how good I am. நாங்க 3 மணிக்கு போனாங்க. ஆனா கிடையே இல்ல. ஆனா நாங்க பீச்சுக்கு போனாங்க. சாப்பிட்டா டீ டீ சாப்பிட்டீங்க? நாங்க வந்து தோசை, வடை எல்லாம் சுட்டு சாப்பிட்டுனாங்க. அண்ட் பசங்க பசங்க வீட்ல இல்ல. ஆனா நான் வந்து ஃபோன்ல கதைச்சு கொண்டு வந்தேனா. ஆனா நாளைக்கு பார்ப்பேன். நாளைக்கு பார்ப்பேன். Oh man, that was exciting to do. Let me speak in my Jaffna Tamil. நாங்கள் வந்து நேட்டிக்கு போனான். நான் வந்து நேட்டிக்கு நான் கடல் கரைக்கு போனான். சூரியன் நல்ல வடிவா இருந்தது. நானும் என் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸும் என் பெற்றோரும் நாங்கள் எல்லாம் சேர்ந்து பீச்சுக்கு போனாங்க. நல்லபடியா இருந்தது. நல்லா நீந்தினாங்க, நல்லா சமைச்சு சாப்பிட்டுனாங்க. எல்லாம் நல்லபடியா இருந்தது. நான் வந்து கதைக்கிற தமிழ் உங்களுக்கு விளங்குதா எனக்கு தெரியல. ஆனா இப்படிதான் என் பெற்றோரோட இந்த Jaffna Tamil கதைக்கிறேன் நான். All right, cool. That was my Chennai Tamil and my Jaffna Tamil. Advind asks, what work do you do? What is your job? That's a fantastic question. So I actually graduated with a geography degree, and I'm actually quite early on in my career, if I'm being completely honest with you. I know I definitely want to do something geography related as a career later on in my life. But at the moment, I'm a videographer and I'm a photographer and I work in the creative arts. So I've helped direct a few shoots. I've worked behind the camera, and I've worked for various companies and clients in London with kind of videography projects. So I would class myself as a videographer, but I'm also a photographer. And I often publicly kind of showcase my work on my channel as well. Even though my channel, Conquer British English, is mainly kind of a channel dedicated to accents, language learning, and motivation and identity, I often showcase my work on my channel as well, and that's a beautiful thing to do. It's like I feel like I can consider myself a YouTuber. That is one of the things that I do as part of my work. Is I content produce on YouTube, and I know a lot of you are going to be thinking that I haven't posted in a while, and that's because life gets in the way. Like one being this coronavirus, and it's difficult because YouTube doesn't pay, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, there's a little bit of AdSense revenue, but it doesn't pay you an income. So I've had to kind of dedicate my time to kind of other paid projects. And also, I'm a tutor. I tutor one-to-one. I go to people's homes. Well, not now, but before lockdown, I used to tutor young children as well. So yeah, that is what I do for my job. Ooh, Rubaya asks, what does rubbing it in mean? I actually love using this phrase. If someone says to you, can you stop rubbing it in? It basically means, okay, so it basically means when you've experienced a low point or when you've experienced something bad, say for example, I don't know, something like lost a game, like you've been playing Monopoly and you've like lost the game. And then someone can be like, nah, 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 like you lost, you're awful at this game. And then you can say, all right, I know I lost. Can you stop rubbing it in? The origins from this phrase is when you've got a wound. If you rub salt in the wound, ooh, that's going to be more painful, right? So you've already got the wound that you've lost the game, and then someone's going to like rub salt in the wound. It's like, can you stop rubbing it in? So when you've acknowledged a point and when you've understood a point, right, and then someone rubs it in, it's like, okay, stop rubbing it in. Right. Payal Adwani asks, who inspires you the most? There are lots of people who inspire me the most. There are lots of people who inspire me the most. And I think it's hard to go by life without being inspired by people, and I think that's something, well, first of all, before I answer that question, that's something that I value a lot, is because as human beings, I'm inspired by a lot of people, but I hope I also inspire people too with my work. And yeah, those people that I hold dear in my heart and like in my circles, people that I am inspired by, and I'm inspired by celebrities and scientists and people up there, but also I'm inspired by the people who do everyday work, on the ground, and my friends. I'm inspired by my friends. If I was to mention one person that I'm inspired by, who'd that be? That's a very good question. I guess there's so many people that I'm inspired by. Okay, fine. There's okay, so I don't know if you watched one of my recent videos. It was about how we improved our local neighborhood. It was quite like a deprived area, and there's this woman called Linda who I'm really inspired by, because she helped kind of clean up the road that we live on, and kind of she's involved in a lot of community projects. And I made a video about her on my channel. It's called "The Woman Who Changed Croydon." So check it out. It would mean a lot to me if you leave a comment. And yeah, so that's just like an example of a person who, every day, like she's one of my friends now, and I'm inspired by her. Oh, Skill says, you inspired me, bro. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really do. Ooh. There's a comment in a different language, which I don't know how to read. What language is that? Ooh, Kalyan asks, will you come to Tamil Nadu? I really would love to. I've been planning this for so long. Obviously now with quarantine and everything, I don't think it's feasible this summer, but next summer, man, India has been calling for so long, and I really, really would love to visit. I really would. I really would. Baron says, when I was born was really marvelous. Would you mind telling us about the entire making of that short story? I'm interested to make one. I need your guidance. Oh, okay. So I'll quickly answer this before moving on to the third tip today for our live stream. When I Was Born is a short film about climate change, which I made, and it's a really important topic for me. I mentioned earlier in this live stream that I did geography as an undergrad, and geographical themes of climate change I'm super passionate about. And we're coming a long way, but there's so much more to do, protecting the planet and the earth that we live on. So I worked with a professor called Mark Maslin. I'm still working with him to produce a few more climate change films. And the process of making that was, we decided to kind of come up with the idea of visually portraying data on a graph. So the graph shows CO2 exponentially rising. But graphs are one visual way to demonstrate that data. But we decided to get people of all different ages to say how old they were and how old they are, but how much carbon dioxide was when they were born. And so obviously people who are older, the carbon dioxide was less, and then as you get younger, the graph increases. And it's a really powerful film. So we decided to source out various actors for the film, which took a long time. And I had to kind of contact care homes to get people who were in the elderly bracket. And I had to go to the locations, film, and then edit. And yeah, it was a really interesting process. It took many months to kind of organize and find fantastic backdrops for the scenes, because it's all visual, right? And also in the tone of their voice. So I kind of had to train the actors to say the line in a way that's incredibly grabbing, because in that film, the only line that the actors were saying was the carbon dioxide level. So when they're saying that line, it has to be incredibly serious. I told my actors not to smile when they were acting, because this is not a topic to be smiling about. Our planet needs to be taken absolutely seriously. So yeah, that's just a bit of a brief background about the filmmaking production process there. I'm going to move on to the last tip for today, for helping you with your English learning journey. So this is kind of like an introductory video, but we will get into kind of more live streams, and I have planned out a schedule for the next couple of weeks. So the third tip is understanding that the UK and the US, there are lots of different words, different pieces of vocabulary that we use, and different pronunciations too. And that will really help you along your journey. I mean, if you prioritize that, and if you've got in your heart that you want to learn the British accent, then you've got to get rid of that US vocabulary. And that's really difficult, because we often are exposed to Hollywood. And in Hollywood, they use US words. For example, elevator. We don't use the word elevator. They say it as elevator. We use the word lift, right? You get on the lift. Or can you press the button on the lift? Not press the button on the elevator, So by finding that vocabulary already present in your day-to-day, that would really help you along your way. So it kind of links into my second tip, which was British slang, but also kind of learning UK vocabulary and understanding that they're spelt differently as well, will kind of help you on that journey there. So sorry if these tips were obvious to you, if you are kind of like an advanced learner, but this was kind of like an introductory session and live Q&A, where I just wanted to share those 3 top tips with you. And I'm really passionate about that top tip that I gave you at the very beginning of our live stream today. Listening to LBC, having that in the background, and listening to various TV shows, but also understanding that these TV shows can serve different purposes. The Apprentice for business, Blue Planet for geography and science, and Chewing Gum for kind of social things, slang and relationships, and the everyday. So kind of have that in your mind. And I do love that question that one of you asked. I can't remember who it was, but about the actors and how they do it and how they learn so quickly. Maybe you can take a few things from that and kind of incorporate that into your own strategy. So this live stream is coming to an end. It's been 40 minutes. Wow. I can't even believe 40 minutes has just flown by. I've really enjoyed being here with you guys today, and thank you for joining. Hopefully I can ask a few more before we end, and don't worry, I'm really sorry if I haven't been able to answer all of your questions, but there will definitely be live streams. I'm live streaming on Monday, and I will kind of put the schedule on my YouTube channel so you can set a reminder, and we'll go from there. Let's see if there's any more questions I can answer. Oh, G Vlogs, good to see you. Really nice to see you. Divya asks, how long will it take an Indian student to adjust in London? That's a really good question, and I can understand your concerns. But it's a difficult one because I feel like there's lots of kind of things that can help kind of break down that question there. I don't think it should take very long. My short answer to that is people at university are so loving and accepting. It really is an accepting place, and lots of different cultures are embraced. And yeah, it's an exciting time. You know, London is a very liberal place, so kind of adjusting to London, I don't think it will take that long. As long as you're out getting yourself out there, going to various society meetings, and um, there's lots of different events held at uni. So I think it's a fantastic time to get involved. And yeah, I don't think it'll take that long for an Indian student to adjust. And to finally finish off today, Rabaya asks, how do you actually pronounce the word choir? So choir is spelled Choir, and this is pronounced choir. 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 All right. I do want to answer a few of these questions. It's really, really great questions. Okay, Gucci asks, please say Malayalam, in Malayalam, Ellavarkum enda nandri. Oh, I'm saying that in Tamil. Ellavarkum enda nandri, which means thank you all. So I'm really happy that I was able to say that in Malayalam, but I'm also going to say that in Tamil. Ellarkum vandadhukku nandri. I don't even know if that's the right formal way to say it. This is the thing, I can speak Tamil in like informal settings, but in terms of the formal Tamil, I do need to yeah, do need to improve on that. Thank you for everybody for joining. It genuinely, every time I do these live streams, it genuinely means the world that you join and you interact and you engage and yeah, join in this conversation. And it kind of makes it less awkward for me because otherwise I'm just sitting here at a screen, just talking at a screen. So I appreciate you kind of jotting in those questions and also suggesting some really good video ideas. So what I'm going to do today is a Saturday. I'm actually going to plan some live streams, put up the kind of thumbnails on my YouTube channel. You can set a reminder. Love to see you there. And each live stream will have a specific plan. I know this one was very general. It was kind of like an introductory session. I know my live streams in the past have been general, but I don't want to keep it general anymore. I will do general ones in the future and kind of ones for Q&As, but I think it'd be much more beneficial for you if I had a specific plan for each live stream, and we can go from there and we can improve our English learning live experience together. And I want to help you on your journey for learning English. And yeah, it's been an absolutely wonderful experience being here with you today. And thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful Saturday. And yeah, see you soon. Take care. And I'll see you on Monday. I'll see you on Monday.